Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB Show 24. Today the Athletics are not in a good spot, sitting 18-29, running a 7-game losing streak all at home, but a chance to rewrite that in the first series of today's episode as they play 3 at home against the 26-21 Seattle Mariners. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. There's Julio Rodriguez having a very good season for the Mariners. Things starting to click for Seattle. We'll try to stop that today as Ken Waldichuk gets the start for the A's, his 10th start of the season. And the 2024 NL Rookie of the Year with the Reds will lead off Noelvi Marte. As the first pitch of the game hits this one into center, and Ruiz will range to his right and put this one away. And we'll take a look at this Mariners lineup, which, like I've said, has finally started to hit that full potential. Amed Rosario up next. He's been hitting .364 in his past 10 games. Then we'll see Julio Rodriguez, Luke Raley in left, Jorge Polanco with the DH, who always hits good against us, Emmanuel Rodriguez in right, Tyler Locklear at third, Bobby Dahlbeck at first, and then Matt Thaiss behind the plate. Here is Rosario on his hot streak, but gets jammed inside on a sweeping curve this time. First strikeout of the day for Waldichuk brings up Rodriguez up next, and he will go down on the same pitch looking. So the nice hitting from Waldichuk. On the mound for the Mariners will be Luis Castillo, part of the best rotation, in my opinion, in all of baseball. But despite that, Castillo is not having a good season, .533 ERA. Zach Geloff will lead off for the Athletics on the first pitch of the game. He gets a nice fastball, but he hits it right at an outfielder. That seems to be the trend with these Athletics the past couple of weeks. They just don't know how to put the ball on the grass. Here's a look at the Athletics lineup today. Up next, we'll see Robbie Martin, followed by Ryan Noda. Eddie Rosario back in the lineup. He's healed from his injury. Esteury Ruiz in center. Logan Davidson at short. It's Clark Elliott in right. Jacob Wilson at third. And Daniel Susac getting a start today behind the plate. Here's Robbie Martin up next with a 1-1 as he chops a good timing fastball over to second. That's going to be the second out of the day. 2 good timings, 2 outs. Makes sense, as here's Ryan Noda up next, who is a little early, but he hits it for a single. So, okay. The early timing gets the base hit. He's on first base for Eddie Rosario up next. Welcome back to the lineup. Eddie was off to a great start before he went down with an injury. Back in the lineup here, but he swings and misses on a slider inside, and both teams scoreless through 1. We'll stay with Waldichuk top 2. Here's Luke Raley at the dish, and he's going to get a base hit into the grass in left center. First hit of the day for the Mariners. That'll bring up Jorge Polanco up next, the designated hitter with an 0-1. And he's going to put this one in the gap, and this is going to be problems as Raley's on his way to third. He's going to be sent home. Elliott gets it in, but there will be no play at the plate. It's 1-0 Mariners. Jorge Polanco always hits good against us. He continues to be a problem. 1-0 now as the next batter is Emmanuel Rodriguez, who hits this one deep to center as Ruiz will camp underneath it. And they will send Polanco to third. The throw will not be in time, so a successful tag up there. That'll bring up Tyler Locklear with a full count pitch, and he draws a walk. Curve doesn't hit the outside part. So now runners on the corners for Bobby Dahlbeck. 2-0 pitch, and he crushes this one to the gap. Elliott's going to range over, but he won't get there, and it's going to bounce over the fence for a ground rule double. Another RBI for the Mariners is now 2-0. But Matt Thaiss up next will strike out looking on the curve. That'll take the Mariners back to the top of the lineup, and Noelvi Marte, the former Chicago Cub, already on his 3rd team in Major League Baseball. 2-0 now to Marte, who pops it up, and he will be flying out to Daniel Susac, and the score will also be 2-0. We'll now go into the top of the 5th. Waldichuk still on the mound, settling in. Here's Bobby Dahlbeck, the former Padre, who gets an infield base hit as he continues a pretty solid performance. Matt Thaiss now up next with a 1-2, and he chops it over to Davison, who can't get to this one either. And back-to-back singles for the Mariners will put them back in business here in this half inning. Top of the lineup due up next, Noelvi Marte, 0-1 up the middle, and that's going to get through. Dahlbeck will be waved home. He should score. It's now 3-0 Mariners. Still nobody out here in the 5th. Amed Rosario up next, the all-star second baseman. First pitch, and it's over the glove of Geloff. Splitting the outfielders, it will roll all the way to the wall. 1 run will score. Marte on his way as well, and the throw will not be in time. It's a 2 RBI double for Rosario. Mariners all of a sudden up 5-0. Still nobody out. At least Julio Rodriguez looks at the high fastball for out number 1. 6K of the day for Waldichuk as here comes Luke Raley. Singled and scored a run earlier in the ball game. Checks the swing inside to say he didn't go around. Fastball just misses. That's going to be the second walk for Waldichuk. Jorge Polanco up next, who has an RBI today. Hits this one well to center, but Ruiz should be underneath this one. He'll make the grab. They will not test the arm of Esteury Ruiz. Interesting call. So now 2 down for Emmanuel Rodriguez, and the former Minnesota Twin will pop this one up in foul territory. Noda will get it, and he will make the play, but the Mariners are up 5-0, and that'll do it for Waldichuk. As Mason Miller will come in relief for the Athletics. He's been pretty solid this season, getting some all-star recognition maybe. He starts off the 6th with Tyler Locklear, who blasts a fastball to left, 94 off the bat, but it's going to be caught by Eddie Rosario for out number 1. Bobby Dahlbeck, 2 for 2 day to him, has a hitter's count here, and he rips it over to third, but Wilson will make the play, and he'll throw him out at first. Quick 2 down now for Miller, brings up Matt Thiessen on the first pitch. He'll chop this one over to second, but it will get by Geloff for a 2-out single, once again turning it over to the top of the lineup with a runner on base. Marte, though, hitless today, and that's actually going to do it for Mason Miller. Abner Uribe will come in. Our bullpen is actually exhausted, by the way, so we're going to have to go through these guys and be very patient with them. Uribe gets the final out of the inning, so we get through the 6th, not allowing a run. As we're going to the bottom of the 6th now, Jacob Wilson leading off for the A's as the rain's starting to pour now in Sacramento. Hitting a lot better against righties this season. He thankfully faces a righty here, but it doesn't make a difference as he swings and misses on the inside sinker. That's the 7th K of the day for Castillo. Now to bring up Daniel Susac, only hit 114 this season after a good rookie campaign. He gets a changeup though, and he hits it up the middle for a base hit, so a good knock there for Susac. Only the 2nd hit of the day for the A's. The bats again have gone ice cold. Top of the lineup now up next. Geloff on the first pitch. Slaps this one to right. Good contact, but it's just going to be easily caught out and right by Rodriguez. 2 down now for Robbie Martin, and he will swing at a fastball he shouldn't have, and Castillo's through 6 scoreless. Going into the 7th now, Zach Jackson will come in relief. He'll be tasked with getting through this half inning, making his 28th appearance. First batter for him is Rosario, who gets underneath the fastball, and Ruiz will get underneath it for the first out. Part of the lineup up next, Julio Rodriguez, and the former Rookie of the Year will draw a walk, reaching base for the first time. He's got some speed. You got to keep that in mind on first base as Rayleigh dribbles it by the glove of Noda. I think he could have got that one down. Instead, it's going to be a single, and Rodriguez is going to get all the way to third. And now you got him on the corners. Only 1 down for Jorge Polanco. We'll bring in Kyle Muller in relief as Jackson's been gassed, continuing to go through our bullpen. He's tasked with straining the runs. First pitch to Polanco over to Noda, who gets it, throws it to second, and they cannot turn the 2, which means the run will score, and it's now 6-0 Mariners. Rodriguez now up next, grounds over to Geloff, and he fumbles it, and the inning stays alive. Some shaky defense this half inning keeps the Mariners continuing to be on offense. And that'll bring up Tyler Locklear, who walked back in the 2nd. Otherwise, have had a hitless day for the 3rd baseman. 0-2 pitch to him, and he's going to get caught on the 12-6, where the Mariners lead 6-0. This will now go into the 8th inning, where Ryan Thompson's in relief, the former Arizona Diamondback, who hasn't had a good season thus far after re-signing in the offseason. First pitch to Dahlbeck will strike him out as the slider runs away. At the ice, blooper into left, and it will get down in front of Rosario. Of course, the Mariners will get some weak contact base hits. 1 down for Noelvi Marte. Chopper over to second. Geloff will try to turn 2. Should have just made the tag as he was only able to get 1 at second because of it. So the inning stays alive. Ahmed Rosario now first pitch. So rips one into left, but Rosario is a couple steps to his left. And he'll make the play. Score 6-0 as we go bottom 8. There was actually a rain delay after this, and it lasted an hour. Honestly, in real life, I feel like they would have called the game here, but they don't do that in MLB The Show. So we're just going to go ahead and say that the rain into the game, as there was no score after the 8th inning. And the Mariners win this one at 6-0 as we drop our 8th straight game in a row. We were once 18-22. Now we are 18-30 as we only had 2 hits in this game. The offense continues to just not exist, while the pitching was just okay at best. Play of the game will go to Luis Castillo, who ended up pitching a complete game shutout and struck out 13, by the way. An absolute insane performance from him. So hopefully it gets better for us, but unfortunately it doesn't. We lose game 2, 5-0. So again, we don't score another run. Sears got a good performance, but the bullpen let him down, specifically Zach Jackson, who gave up 3 earned without recording a single out. Your Tuesday game of the week is Yankees-Reds, 2 teams that a lot of people thought would contend this year. And only one of them really is. The Yankees are off to a really good start. They lead the AL East. The Reds continue to sit at 500. There was also a trade after this one. Ryan Nelson goes to the Guardians as the Tigers acquired Chase DeLauter in a division trade. And we lose game 3, which means we've now lost 10 straight games. 3-1 the score. Robbie Francisco, 2 earned in 6 innings, struck out 8. But we only get 1 run in 3 games versus the Mariners. Another trade in division, this one a little bit more significant. Akil Baddoo will go to the Twins as the Tigers continue to sell. Baddoo started off this Detroit career pretty solid, but it's not been good for the past 2 seasons, and it's led to this trade taking place. Speaking of trades, we dropped 10 straight, and we now sit 18-32, so I think I start to look at selling some players, and we're going to make a trade today. I've hinted at this since the off-season episode, but I think Esteury Ruiz would be a good guy to trade. We saw his potential go down the off-season. He's 28. He's still at a pretty solid part of his game, but I think we need to sell while we can. He has another year of team control as well, so I think this is the time, if we want to get something for him, that we can do something. There's a team interested. The San Francisco Giants, who sit 25-27, they're in the mix. They have a good offense, but you can see they are not good on defense and speed, which is exactly what Ruiz offers. And we're going to make a trade with the San Francisco Giants, acquiring Jared Jones, an A potential starting pitcher at 25 years old, in return for Esteury Ruiz, beefing up our young pitching core even more, we acquire Jared Jones. So Esteury Ruiz will head to San Francisco for Jared Jones, and the deal is done. Our first trade of the season, Ruiz heading to San Francisco while we get a starting pitcher to add to our rotation. I don't think starting pitcher has been a problem for us. I think the offense is what needs to be fixed, but if you can acquire an A potential guy, you might as well do it, especially at only 25 years old. Jared Jones had a good season in AAA. He didn't play good last year in the majors, but we're going to give him another shot because he's played good with their AAA squad. To make room for him, we're going to send down Luis Medina, who's out of options, but I don't think he'll get claimed off waivers, and he hasn't been very good at the majors. We're also going to call up Pedro Pineda to take Esteury Ruiz's center field spot. I want to give him the first chance, considering he is a center fielder and he's only 23 years old. I know he hasn't been very good in the majors in his limited performance, but why not? We're not a very good team at the moment. So that'll send us into the second series, but before we get there, there's some other trades, including a big one, including the Astros, who get Vinny Pasquantino from the Twins. So right after acquiring Baddoo, the Twins trade one of their best offensive weapons. Pasquantino has been very good for Minnesota, and he's now heading over to Houston to be their new first baseman. As you can see the stats for Pasquantino this season, 251, 7 homers, 29 RBIs, and he actually leads all the American League right now in drawn walks with 32. The Twins, in response, will get a couple of players, including Tyler Wells, a relief pitcher arm, to help them out. He's been excellent in his 3 seasons with the Astros. And they're also going to get Jacob Melton, a left fielder at 26 years old, who could help against right-handed pitching, who's also been good in his limited appearances. There was another trade. The Royals acquire Brock Wilken from the Mets, as he is a solid 24-year-old B potential guy, and the Mets will get Drew Waters instead as they look to contend right now, and they want some more help in the outfield. So that'll take us to the second series. We'll face the Texas Rangers, and normally we do play the first game of the series, but I'm going to make an exception for this Rangers series because, 1, we saw Jake DeGrom last time, and 2, Jared Jones will make his A's debut in Game 3, so we're actually going to play the third game of this 3-game set. So we sim the first 2, and the first one we lose 6-2, so we've now lost 11 straight games. Clark Elliott had a nice game, going 3 for 4 with a double, but Micah Bell did not look too good on the mound. Game 2, we also win this one 8-7, so we snap our 11-game losing streak. Eddie Rosario goes deep for the 5th time, and now we have a rubber matchup against the Rangers, something to play for. Also, Los Angeles claims Luis Medina off waivers. I don't want to lose him despite the fact he hasn't been good, so we will keep him at the Major League level, and instead we're going to send Robbie Francisco down to AAA, another guy who I think could use the stint with the Las Vegas Aviators. Your Saturday games, this is the doubleheader, the first one being the Royals and then the Mariners, 2 teams who have been quietly good in the American League this year. Seattle won this game 7-2 behind their dominant pitching once more and their pretty solid offense. So the Mariners now actually lead the AL West. The Saturday night baseball night in America game was the Mets and the Cubs, two big market teams who have struggled this season. And New York wins it though in an exciting 10 innings. They win 2-1 against the Chicago Cubs. Mets sit 22-29, while the Cubs are 24-29. It'll be interesting to see what those two teams do at the deadline. So that'll bring us into Game 3, the rubber matchup in the A's debut of Jared Jones. We'll have to see how it unfolds here on Sunday afternoon baseball. We're playing in the daytime for once, as the 19-33 Athletics face the 30-24 Texas Rangers, a team that actually just swept us in Sacramento last week. They took 4 out of 4 against us. We're looking to right that wrong by taking this series in Arlington. As you can see, the first game went the way of the Rangers, 6-2, while the A's bounced back in one Game 2, 8-7. On the mound for the Texas Rangers in their nice Sunday powder blues is Owen White, making his 11th appearance of the season. He's been pretty solid for a back of the rotation starter, I should say. Geloff leads off for the A's today, and with a 2-2 count, Owen White gives him a sinker, and he's going to ground it over to his second base brethren in Cody Freeman. And we'll take a look at the A's lineup. A little bit different now. No Ruiz, obviously. Davison getting the start at short, trying to give him some more opportunities, considering he's been our best bat. Noted in the 3 spot, Rosario the 4, Robbie Martin the 5, Wilson the 6, Elliott in the 7 spot today, Susak getting another start at catcher, and Pedro Pineda will be starting in center field. Davison up next swings through a fastball. That's quickly 2 down for Owen White, as that brings up Ryan Noda with a 1-2, and he's going to chop it up the middle. White does knock it down, tries to get to it, but he cannot get Noda at first base, so an infield single to begin his day. Eddie Rosario trying to keep the inning alive, gets underneath the fastball. Good timing and good contact, but it's just going to be flown out to left as we head into the bottom half of the first. Here is Jared Jones. This is his 2026 numbers with the Giants. They're not very impressive, but we have high hopes for this young right-hander. He's had a good year with their AAA squad, hoping that continues with the A's. Speaking of A's, former Athletic Marcus Semien leads off for the Rangers as he gets underneath the fastball of his own, and he's put away by Daniel Susak. And we'll take a look at how the Rangers will go into the lineup today. Some different bats than we saw in the first time. Ian Happ up next. We will see Corey Seager today. We did not see him in the game we watched last week. Evan Carter, Yandy Diaz, Josh Young, Gary Sanchez, Daniel Mateo, and Cody Freeman lead the rest of the lineup. Ian Happ up next. We'll dribble this one over to Wilson, who makes the play. And that's quickly 2 down for Jared Jones. Now he has to face Corey Seager, who had 20 RBIs last month, and he takes a 1-2 fastball, rips it to right, and Elliott will not make the play. It bounces off of the wall. I thought Clark Elliott was jogging to that ball. He needs to put more effort into that one, as he could have caught it. Instead, it's going to be a 2-out double for Seager. Evan Carter up next, one of the best young players in all of baseball, but he grounds out to Zach Geloff, and Jones gets through the first without allowing a score. We'll stay with him as we go into the bottom of the third. Cody Freeman up for the Rangers, who rips the first pitch he sees into left, and it will stay fair. One hopping off of the wall. Rosario gets to it as he throws it in, and it's going to be a leadoff double for the Rangers' second baseman. So that'll bring up the 4-time Silver Slugger Marcus Semien, who also crushes the first pitch he sees. 1-0-2 off the bat to center field, but Pineda just has enough space to make the play. That will allow Freeman, though, to tag to third, so he's only 90 feet from the scoring. Happ just needs to put the ball in play, and he'll pop it up to left. Rosario will get to it. They will test the arm of Eddie. Throw in time to the cutoff man to the plate's not in time, and the Rangers will get on the board first with a sac fly. Next batter, Corey Seager dribbles this one up over to second, and Geloff will make the play as Jones goes 3 and has an earned run. Not a bad outing so far. We'll stay with him bottom 4, see how he bounces back after the run allowed in the last inning, and he starts by striking out Evan Carter. Nice pitch, his third K of the day, and that'll bring up Yandy Diaz, the new first baseman in at Texas. They lost Nathaniel Lowe in the offseason and signed Yandy Diaz to a 1-year, $6.7 million contract, and he will ground out here for the second out. Trying to go 1-2-3, and here's Josh Young back in the lineup as he hits this one over to first. Noda bobbles it, flips it to Jones covering, and he'll make the play. That's a nice 1-2-3 against the 4-5-6 hitters. Fortunately, though, the offense has gone quiet again as we're in the 5th. Only 2 hits on the day for the Athletics, as Clark Elliott will fly out to left field to begin this frame. How about Daniel Susak? Full count pitch, and he draws a walk. So nice patience there. Second walk allowed for White today, as that'll bring up Pedro Pineda. Struck out back in the third, 1 for 10 thus far this series. Only 2 for 20 this season. He has a 1-2 pitch here, and Peta swings at a cutter. That's a filthy pitch from Owen White, high running away. 6K of the day, that brings up Zach Geloff, 0 for 2 thus far. And he'll take the first pitch, a cutter, and he'll lift it in the left, but just gets underneath it. Once again, okay contact, and that'll be the end of the top of the fifth. We'll go top 7, Robbie White at the dish here as he hits a sinker into right field, and it drops in front of the right fielder Happ, as that'll be a base hit for the Athletics. They should celebrate those kind of things. They don't happen very often. That'll actually do it for Owen White. The single will knock him out of the game. He's gone 6 scoreless so far, and Brock Burke, the lefty, will come in relief to replace him. White is responsible for the run on first, but Burke's going to try to not allow him to score. As the first batter he faces, though, is Jacob Wilson, who draws a walk. Good patience there. 2 on now, nobody out. The best spot for the A's thus far today, and Clark Elliott apparently goes around on the swing. The computer does that all the time. They don't get called. I'm just saying. 1 out now for Daniel Susac with a 1-1. He turns on a fastball, times it up well, but just gets underneath it. Weak contact. Can anybody hit the ball well on this team? I don't think so. 2 outs now. We need a base hit from Pedro Pineda before we get to him. John Curtis will actually come in relief, but they're actually going to yank Brock Burke pretty fast. And Curtis has not been very good this season. Interesting call. Pedro Pineda looking to take advantage, and he draws a walk. So bases loaded for Zach Geloff, the guy you want in this situation. First pitch from Curtis, who's been struggling this season, and Geloff gets underneath it. You can see him slam the bat in frustration. He knows he should have hit that one far. The A's leave him loaded, still 1-0. Abner Uribe will come in relief in the 7th. Jones went 6 innings, only allowed 1 earned run. A great performance in his A's debut. Uribe is tasked with the 7th as he starts off with Yandy Diaz, who pops this one up. Logan Davison will make the play. How about Josh Young? Only played 11 games last year. He's hit pretty good in his return this season, but he strikes on the slider that time. 2 down now for Gary Sanchez, having a resurgence here in Texas, and it's going to continue as the former Arizona Diamondback hits it in the outfield. And he honestly would have been thrown out at first if Noda was standing on the bag. Elliott made a heads-up play going to first. Noda's there in time. Why is his foot not on the bag? We could have had it out there. Lackadaisical defense again keeps standing alive, but Uribe strikes out Mateos, and nothing comes of it. It's just the little plays, you know. Ken May is in relief, the former Milwaukee Brewer, making his 19th appearance as a Ranger this season. He's tasked with the 8th inning, and Logan Davison, who gets a changeup down the middle, but he drives it right at the center fielder. Those are the hits you need to make. Why can we not hit the ball? Noda also makes good timing on it. You know what he's going to do? Hit it right at the center fielder. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to do. 2 down now for Eddie Rosario. 0-1 pitch to him, and he perfectly times one into right, and it's going to be down for a base hit. Maybe I just have to get perfect contact every single time he hits with this team. 2 down now for Robbie Martin, the runner on first, and he draws a walk. So, okay, tying run in scoring position again. A big spot for Jacob Wilson, who does have a single today, by the way. Can he bring in Eddie Rosario with 2 down? Faces the first pitch, and he takes a fastball into left, and it's going to be caught. No, of course he's not. So we stay scoreless through 8. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Mason Miller tasked with getting through this half inning, making his 33rd appearance. He's been probably our most reliable reliever this season. He'll start off against Cody Freeman, who's 1 for 2 today, and the versatile man will strike out on the slider down and away. Nice pitch by Miller. Go to the top of the lineup. Marcus Semien back up at the dish. 0 for 3, grounded out in his last at bat. And he will pull the bat back and draw a walk. That's exactly what Elliott did earlier, but he got called for a strike, I will point out. That'll bring up the former Chicago Cub, Ian Happ, who has a sac fly today to his name. Otherwise, he's been hitless this whole series. 0-2 to him, and he hits this one well into right, but he might have just missed it, as Elliott is just shy of the track, and he'll make the play for out number 2. So a big spot for Corey Seager, the 2-time World Series MVP. He's in a hitter's count, and he's going to deliver. Seager, in my opinion, has probably been the most underrated hitter in all of baseball. I don't know why. He's got the statistics to show that he's great. 2 down now for Evan Carter, the face of the next generation, in my opinion, but he's just going to fly out to left. Miller does a good job in the 8th, which means it'll be a 1-run game into the 9th for the Texas closer, T.J. Antone, in his 2nd season here with the Rangers. He's been their go-to guy. He's going to be tasked with shutting the door once more. He's been pretty efficient this year. 12 for 15 doesn't look good. An ERA of 110 does. And Clark Elliott starts with a slurve right down the middle. And, of course, he can't hit it. He just pops it out to center field. So that'll bring up Daniel Susac, full count pitch. And he checks his swing. And, okay, they say he didn't go. So that will help. So we put the tying run on first base. Pedro Patena now up next. Full count pitch to him as well. And he also draws a walk. And Antone putting himself in a little bit of trouble here. Back-to-back walks. We'll bring up Zach Giloff. 0 for 4 today, but that could all change here. 2-2 now to him, and he checks his swing, but they say he went around. The bat looked like he barely left his shoulder. Nonetheless, 2 down for Davidson. Tasked with keeping the game alive. Good timing, but it's hit right at the right fielder and caught. And that will do it for this one. The Rangers win 1-0 in what was another frustrating offensive performance. I know I usually don't talk about myself playing the game and place of the team, but I really don't know what else I should do as a hitter. I'm making good timing on a lot of these pitches. They're in the middle of the zone. They just can't hit the ball. I know we don't have a good team, but my gosh, is it frustrating. 0 runs, 4 hits, 1 errors for the A's, 1 run, 4 hits for the Rangers. Owen White gets the win. Jared Jones gets the loss in his debut, despite he looked really good in an Athletics uniform, and TJ Antone gets the save. White also gets player of the game for his efforts, and we lose the series to the Rangers, which will bring us to the end of the episode. It's kind of odd not having you simulating afterwards, but that's the end of that series. Next episode, we'll have a 4-game road trip to Houston before hosting the Cleveland Guardians for 3 as we look to try to change around what has been an abysmal month of May as we now sit 19-34 on the season. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of our Esteury Ruiz trade and what you think we should do with this team going forward. And if you have any suggestions for helping me hit better, please let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.